Last Tuesday, White Hats intercepted and later destroyed a shipment of made-in-China optical scanner voting machines that had allegedly been pre-programmed to overcount votes for Democrat candidates by a ratio of 1.4, and discard fractional remainders. If the machines worked as advertised, Biden or whoever replaces him would have received one fraudulent vote for every 3 legitimate votes, a source in General Eric M. Smith's office told Real Raw News. The seizure took place on July 2nd when U.S. Marines stopped an 18-wheeler on Interstate 69, halfway between Fort Wayne, Indiana and the truck's destination, Lansing, Michigan, according to an after-action report reviewed by Real Raw News. The report said the solid black tractor-trailer was registered to a family-owned transportation company headquartered in Houston, Texas, but sources had redacted the company's name, citing pending investigations. Per the report, General Smith on June 27th received from an unimpeachable source an electronic voting machine produced by a phantom Chinese electronics manufacturer calling itself, loosely translated to English, Most Reliable Consistent Engineering. White Hats could not verify the company's existence, nor could Real Raw News find that or a similar name on a Chinese language search website for company registration details. Since official Chinese company names are always in Chinese, business registrations are made only using Chinese characters, meaning that even if a China company registration search website were made available with an English language interface, users would most likely still require knowledge of the Chinese language to carry out successful searches on the database. And Chinese doesn't translate to English with 100% accuracy. The report omitted how General Smith's source acquired the machine. Aside from the dubious branding, the voting machine's exterior was visually identical to Dominion machines, which generated controversy and lawsuits in the aftermath of the stolen 2020 presidential election. Even its internals were remarkably like Dominion's, except for the chipset produced by Melexis Ukraine, a supplier of microelectronic semiconductor solutions. General Smith thought it improbable that the ballot scanner, if made in China, would contain a relatively obscure foreign manufacturer's hardware, not its own proprietary chips or one sourced from China's rapidly expanding technology sector. He wanted proof the device functioned per his source's claims. A test was impossible because the paper ballots the machine scans aren't printed until after the DNC's and RNC's nomination conventions, and it's done by a handful of printers certified by the Secretary of State in each state. Creating one using presumptive candidates' names would have taken time we didn't have if we were to stop the shipment from reaching its target. The general trusts his source, and he wanted to be proactive, not reactive, our source said. He added that the general's informer had essential details at his fingertips, such as the truck's route from a warehouse in Indiana to a self-storage facility in Lansing and its approximate arrival time. General Smith decided his Marines would waylay the trailer and detain the driver for interrogation. The plan went down as orchestrated in the early morning hours of July 2nd. The Marines pulled a ballsy maneuver, placing their Hummers in the path of a 50,000-pound behemoth traveling 65 miles per hour that could have plowed through them. But the driver had hit the brakes, and the truck screeched to a stop 5 yards short of the Marine's position. He emerged from the cab, arms held high above his head, as the Marines charged the vehicle with weapons pointed at it and the startled driver. The Marines searched and subdued him prior to snapping the lock on the trailer doors with a pair of bolt cutters. Inside, they found 250 optical voting machines identical to the copy given to General Smith. The driver told our guys he was just a driver and had no idea what cargo he was carrying, but his log and the manifest told a different story. He had to have seen it, and the manifest clearly said the cargo was 250 vote machines. He was taken into custody and the truck and contents seized, our source said. On General Smith's orders, the Marines drove the 18-wheeler to an undisclosed location where all but 2 of the machines were destroyed. Our source said in closing that the general will test them once White Hats either produce their own paper ballot to be scanned or obtain an official Michigan state ballot. For now, Michigan voters can breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that vigilance and timely action have safeguarded their civil and constitutional rights. A lot doesn't add up, and we'll be investigating the driver, the company the truck's registered to, and if possible, the Ukrainian company that made the chipset. We'll share more after we find out if these are really rigged voting machines. This story is still developing from the desk of Real Raw News and its creditable sources, the future paralegals of America, bringing you the facts fast.